Hey everyone, for today's video I'll be doing a review of Senator Resort in Puerto Plata. So I went there recently with my husband for our belated honeymoon slash our 1-year wedding anniversary. So if you want to hear how we enjoyed our stay, then just keep on watching. Before I begin my review, something that I want to mention is that I have my agenda here. I wrote down some notes and some points that I didn't want to miss, so if I'm looking down, then that's what I'm looking at. And the way that I'll be doing this review is I'm going to be first talking about my pros, then I'll be talking about the cons. There are a few cons that I would say are kind of like in the middle, a little bit neutral. They weren't like a huge make or break it, but I want to include them as well. So the first thing that I'll be talking about is the resort and just the atmosphere and just how it looked in general. So I thought that it was absolutely beautiful. I loved the different designs with the architecture and just the style. I thought that it was such a nice modern look, and it's just nicely renovated and overall just very beautiful. And I loved also that even though it's not too big, not too small, it's kind of like a medium-sized resort. I loved the layout of it. I thought that everything was in a good location. I found that nothing was way too far or like just confusing with how the layout was. I thought the layout was amazing. So the next thing that I wanted to talk about was the price. I found that it was extremely affordable. I was doing like a ton of research and looking at different reviews, and overall the value was really good. We paid under $1,000 per person, which I thought that was a really good deal and value because this is also all-inclusive. So the flight, the accommodations, and the transfers was included. So I thought that was great. Of course, the price is going to vary depending on when you go, but basically for a week stay, we thought that was a great deal that we were able to get. Then the next thing that I want to talk about was food, and this was something that was very important to us. So we did a ton of research and looked at reviews on this, and we were very pleased. We found that the food was very delicious. There was always such a wide selection, a great variety. There wasn't really any shortages, and the food was very tasty. So first there's a buffet. The buffet is a great size, and we just found that there's always such a great selection to choose from. What was really cool was on some nights they did different cuisines from different parts of the world, so that was cool that they did that, and overall the food was just very delicious there. So then there was 3 different a la carte slash specialty restaurants, and we were able to go to all 3 of them, which we were really happy about. So the first one that we went to, I believe it's called teppanyaki or hibacha. If I'm saying that wrong, please excuse me, but I'll make sure to leave that somewhere on the screen. But with that restaurant, it was so cool because it was basically like a dinner and a show. It was cool getting to see the food being prepared in front of us, and it was so tasty. We had a fried rice, and then there was 3 different meats. So I had 2 of them, which was the beef and the chicken, and then there was mixed vegetables, and then the dessert was very delicious as well. Then right across from there is the steakhouse, and we were able to go to that. I think that was like the second night, and that was very delicious as well. I'll show you the menu that was there. And with that, I decided to get a chicken meal, and I really enjoyed that. My husband enjoyed his steak, and overall it was just so delicious there. And then the last restaurant that we went to was Grappa, which was an Italian restaurant, and I love that food there as well. And just the design of that restaurant, it was very beautiful, very inviting. They had a salad bar station area, and the menu had a great variety to choose from. My husband had like a garlic pasta. I've never had anything like that before, and it was very tasty. I had a chicken parmesan, and I really enjoyed getting that, and my husband got a dessert there as well. And overall, I highly recommend all of those restaurants. They're really good. So in between that, if you want to check out other restaurants that they have a snack bar, which is by the beach, and with that it's more of like somewhere to go for lunch. I think it's from like 12 to 5. I'll leave the menu on there as well, and it's mostly, I would say, like sandwiches. My husband got a drink there before, and it looked like they had a good variety there. And then somewhere that I highly recommend, and we loved going there, was Legends, which was their sports bar. This is open 24/7, and the food there was very delicious. We liked going there for lunch because it was a lot less busy. If you go there in the nighttime, basically after dinner, there can get very, very busy there. So yeah, we loved going there when it was lunchtime. And yeah, overall it was really good. And what's really cool is that they have, I'm not exactly sure what to call it, it's kind of like a strip, so it's in between both of the resorts. And yeah, it's really cool because then they have a coffee bar, so my husband loved getting coffee there, as well as there was nice pastries and desserts that they had there. And then they also had a pizzeria that was very delicious, and my husband's actually lactose intolerant, so it was nice that he was able to get a personal pizza without cheese, and I enjoyed the pizza that I had there. And then somewhere that I really enjoyed was the gelato shop, and they had all sorts of different gelato to choose from, plus lots of different toppings, so I highly recommend checking out there. And just overall it was nice checking out that area. There were some gift shops and other things that you could check out over there. And what was really cool about this resort, I've never gone to a resort that had this deal, and it was basically stay at one but you had access to two. So the other resort was PlayaBachata, hopefully I'm saying that right. So you had access to all of their amenities. So we didn't take a full advantage of that, but we did go and explore over there. And we went to, they had like a table set up with some souvenirs. So we got souvenirs. My husband actually got a fresh coconut, like it got cut in front of it. It was really cool. So yeah, he really enjoyed that. And yeah, overall it was just nice getting to check out their resort and seeing how it was. And it was just nice getting to go over there. And we actually did go to see like part of a show that they had there as well. So yeah, it's really cool that you're able to do that. Then the next thing that was really good is that they have all sorts of activities for you to check out. So you can go and see the different days of what's going on. And yeah, there's always something going on by the pool, which is pretty cool. We didn't really get too involved with the activities, but they seemed pretty fun. And there was always like music and stuff going on. So that's really good. And then with the theater, they have all sorts of different shows, which is good. But the only downfall, so this is kind of now going into the cons. Well, actually, sorry, before I get into the cons, something that I want to mention was the service. The service was amazing there. The housekeeping, they were so sweet, and the maid that was for like our room and our that level, like she was so kind, and like the service there was amazing. So make sure, please make sure to tip well, because honestly the staff there is amazing. If you have a good experience, I would definitely recommend making sure to tip. So yeah, so great service. So yeah, like I was mentioning with the theater, going into the cons now, unfortunately the theater is outside, so it's kind of like weather permitting. So even though there were some shows out and great to check out, since it was raining, they had to bring the entertainment inside. And the way that they did that was like kind of like in the lobby area. So since they didn't have such a big stage, then it wasn't the same entertainment that was like on the schedule pretty much. So yeah, that was a little bit unfortunate. But then what's good is since you can go over to the other resort, their theater is inside, so then you can take advantage of getting to see shows over there. So then another thing that was unfortunate was with the beach. Even though it's so beautiful and like it's a very long beach, it is on the rocky side. There are a lot of shells, and yeah, there's coral, a little bit of coral. So that is basically like, that's something that you could work around with using water shoes. But like for me, I love being on the beach. That is something that's very important to me. So yeah, unfortunately it is like that. So I just want to make sure that you know that. And then with the room, this was another huge issue, was that even though the room was pretty nice, it is more on the data side, but overall it was really nice. The water in the shower is lukewarm and like on the colder side. So for my husband, this wasn't an issue for him at all really, because he was like sweating and he just wanted to refresh like after the day, and just the water was very refreshing for him. But for me, it was on the colder side. And like if I'm at the beach and getting all sandy and just like in the water a lot and just going to the pool with chlorine, I want to wash off really well, have a really nice shower. But I had to have a very, very quick shower. And I'm glad that I didn't wash my hair, because if I'm washing my hair, that's going to take about half an hour, and that would be more of an uncomfortable shower. So yeah, that was disappointing. I would say that I think like 2 days it was on the warmer side, and I really enjoyed that shower, but overall the water was more on the colder side. And then we also did have some toilet issues. I'm not sure why it wasn't flushing well. We did tell them they had to come and fix it like 3 or 4 times, but yeah, our toilet wasn't working that well. So I'm not sure if this was the same for others. I did notice in reviews people were complaining about the water in the room, it being on the colder side, but for the toilet that may have just like been our room. But yeah, that's something that was unfortunate. And then something else that I want to mention is with the plug for the room, if you do have a bigger charger, then you may not be able to use your charger in the room, and you might have to use it like at the sports bar. So with my husband's charger, since it was bigger, unfortunately he wasn't able to use it in the room, but luckily he was able to use it with one of mine. So yeah, I just want to mention that as well. So something else that's not like a huge thing is you probably will be asked about the timeshare, and the way that they'll ask you is like basically inviting you to like this nice breakfast. But yeah, it's about timeshare from what I know, and we were not interested in that. So we were asked, I think, about like 3 times about that, and we just kindly told them like, no, like we're good, we're not interested in that. So just wanted to mention that. And something else is the pool chairs are pretty much always occupied. People are very serious about putting their towel on there and claiming that chair for the day. So it was kind of hard to find a chair by the pool. We were able to always like get one, and it's not that we want to like really like sit on the chair for an extended amount of time. It was just kind of to put our my like beach bag and our towel down, but we noticed that it was hard to find a chair. However, at the beach, that was not an issue. It was always very easy to find a chair by the beach. And the last con that I want to talk about was some of the times. So we found that for the pool that it closed pretty early. From what I remember, it closes at 6 p.m. So yeah, if you were going to dinner a little bit later, like for 8 or something, you wanted to still be in the pool, then yeah, it closes pretty early, which is unfortunate, but what can you do? You can still be at the beach. And another thing as well was for breakfast, we found that it was more on the early side. It's from 7 to 10. So yeah, if you want to sleep in a little bit more, then you do have to wake up earlier for breakfast. However, the way that we worked around this was we found even if we went to breakfast for around like 9:30, 9:45, they were always replenishing the food. There was always such a really great variety to choose from. So yeah, that wasn't an issue at all. Like people would still be coming in even if it was a little bit later. So yeah, that wasn't a really big issue for us at all. So overall, we loved staying at the resort. I had an amazing time. If I could rate it out of 10, I would say I would give it like a 7.5 out of 10. The 2 biggest cons for me was number 1, the beach, because I always love being at the beach. So it was disappointing that there was lots of shells and some rocks. I was able to find clear spots in the water, but I would definitely recommend bringing water shoes. And then again, with the room, this may or may not bother you, but for me, I do like having a warmer shower. So it's unfortunate the water was more on the colder, lukewarm side. And actually, I don't even know if I had mentioned this before. Yeah, actually, sorry, something I did forget to mention was in the room, the temperature couldn't be adjusted. So what I would do was actually just take it off, the air conditioning, and let the room kind of like get a little bit more of a comfortable setting, and then after when it got a little bit warm, then I would put it back on. So for my husband, that didn't really bother him at all. But yeah, that's just how I worked around it. So I hope you found this review to be helpful. If there was anything that I missed, just leave any questions down below and I'll try to help you out the best that I can. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. Bye.